Hello, guerreras and guerreros. This is Alex
and Laura.
And on today's episode, we are going to talk about all the fun activities you can do around Christmas time in Dallas, Texas. So let's get the show on the road. Guerreras and guerreros, this is Alex, and I am so excited to share this topic with you all. We've had a lot of family members come visit from out of town, and we shared a lot of tips and tricks and different activities for them to do around the holidays here in the Dallas area. And I said, why not share it with our listeners? Our listeners would love to hear all the fun stuff that is going on around here during the holidays.
Yep, whether you all live here in the Dallas area or you're planning to visit, December's a great time because there's a lot of Christmas activities happening everywhere. So I did want to start off with talking about the Gaylord Texan Resort. I think that's a great one to start off with. So a little bit of background of what that is. It is like a hotel, right? It's a resort that people can go in, you park, and a lot of people don't know this. So I wanted to make sure to say this right off the bat, but you can park. And I will say parking, you do have to pay for parking. I think it's like $20 or something like that. But you park, but the inside of the actual Gaylord Resort is free. Like anyone can walk in. And it's this huge, amazing, beautiful place that it has like a dome over it, like with glass, and there's real plants and trees inside. Like as you're walking through like the lobby of a hotel, imagine that, and then it opens up to like this beautiful outside feeling place. But it's so interesting because you're actually enclosed because there's like a dome of glass. So you're kind of safe from the elements. So if it's cold, it doesn't feel cold inside. It's just very beautiful scenery to walk into. But when it comes to Christmas, I think that's where we're super excited to share when this hotel, this resort does some super amazing things for Christmas. And so that's what we wanted to share with you all.
The first one is the Merry and Bright. So those are the Christmas lights where you can go walk around. They have beautiful, big, giant sculptures full of lights, and it's just such a beautiful place to take your kids and take amazing family pictures. I usually try to book those tickets ahead of time. I usually try to go the first few days of December just because of how packed it gets. Mm-hmm. And this year I actually went on the 1st of December and it was pretty much dead. There wasn't a lot of people there, so it was amazing. It was great to take a bunch of pictures of the kids, and I dressed all my family in plaid and we just went all out with our pictures. And that's actually the picture we're going to send out as a Christmas card. And the kids had so much fun. They ran around. We grabbed something to eat at a place close by, which is Laura's favorite as well, Pluckers.
We went to Pluckers after, but what's in there, and I'll say, even for my little girl, this is her very first time looking at a light show. So Merry and Bright is all of these Christmas lights wrapped around, as Alice said, different sculptures. So one of my little girl's favorite one was this really big bear that she, as soon as she saw it, she just ran, and it's a big place, open outside, so she literally just ran across to the big bear to touch its foot, and then she touched its foot and she goes foot because she knows that's a foot. But that's just one of the things. But there's these beautiful lights that you can walk through. In the very beginning, as you're going in, there's a tunnel, and I have a very cute video of my little girl saying, "Oh wow."
Yes, she's so adorable. Even with the teddy bear, she was hugging its leg. Yeah. I took really good pictures of her too because she just looked so excited. Everything was a wow to her. It was the cutest thing ever. And another thing that they have there is the ice skating rink. So if you have older kiddos who can handle ice skating, I would again recommend booking those first few days of December, only because everything gets so packed getting closer to Christmas. And when I looked for tickets, they were actually all the weekend starting Friday were all sold out for the month of December. So try to book those early if you can. Like I said, I always try to go December 1st just to avoid the crowd.
Mhm. And I will say about the tickets, so everything that we mentioned is like its own separate ticket. So just think about that. Like it, as Alice said, the earlier you get them, the more chances you have of getting these activities early on, because you'll be able to, like, for example, get tickets for Merry and Bright, that's a light show. And then there's also the activity that Ale mentioned right now, which was the ice skating one. So they're like its own ticket. So just make sure that you kind of plan ahead. And if it's too many activities for a day, then just know, like, oh, you can space them out. You don't have to do them all in one day.
Yes, absolutely. There's also tubing. So even the younger kids can do the tubing. So they put fake snow with the tubes and the kids get to slide down. That looks like a lot of fun. I didn't take my kiddos to that because I feel that they're a little too small, but if I had teenage kiddos, I would definitely take them down that tubing ride. It looks really fun.
And it may be real snow because honestly it's super cold in that part. So it may be real snow, because I remember like having to wear like big jackets to go down the tubes. But if it's not real, it looks real and it feels real because it's cold.
Well, speaking of cold, I did get to see the ice sculptures there at the Gaylord Resort. Sadly, we looked it up, and this year, due to COVID, they're not doing it this year. But try to see if maybe for next year you can find some tickets. But that is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, because all those ice sculptures are handly like crafted, and it's just so amazing to see all the ice sculptures. It is extremely cold, but they give you it's an ugly big giant blue jacket. And I put one on my daughter. She was about 4 at the time, and she had so much fun touching all the different, because they give them little activities to do as they're walking around. And of course, you can't touch the sculptures, but you can view them, you can take pictures with them. And it did get really, really cold towards the end, so we kind of sped up towards the end of the maze. But it was so nice, and I took a lot of pictures, so I can share those on our Instagram page at Driven Latinas.
As she was saying about how ice is not happening this year, is because of COVID, and a lot of the artists that are international, like they come from all over the world to make these ice sculptures, and international travel is impacted. So that's why they're not able to come, because there's restrictions right now because of COVID. So they just decided not to do it this year, but hopefully next year, you guys are now really ahead of the game. You know what's out there. And if ice is offered, we greatly advise that you take advantage of it.
Just like with the train ride. So there's a beautiful train ride there at the Gaylord Resort, which Laura and I have not been lucky enough to grab tickets for that. Every time we check, they're sold out. I think we checked like 2 days after they were the window opened, and we missed them. They were already sold out. But on that train, the kids and the family, they get to ride on the train, and then as they're in there, there's like Mrs. Claus, Santa. They're giving out things for the kids and
cookies. They give out cookies, and we've been trying to go for years and years, but every year, as soon as their tickets go up, like all of the weekends are taken. So it's hard to get in. So that's one that we're going to keep trying next year to go. But yeah, it's not an easy one to get. So the more you plan, the better. This year I put an alarm on my phone when the tickets went up, but I snoozed the alarm and I just said, okay, I'm just going to get it as soon as I can. It was 2 days after, and they were already sold out for every weekend for the rest of the year. So I would definitely say that one is called the North Pole Express, and it's in Grapevine. That's also one of the other areas that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But just to finish up really quick with the Gaylord Texan, that's also in Grapevine, by the way. They have Build-A-Bear as well. So that's one thing that we have done. We've made a Build-A-Bear of our doggy. And we gave it to Camila one year. It was the one that when she got the veterinary set, we added the dog. Cute. Yeah, we added the dog in there. So they have a Build-A-Bear that is super cute to do, especially for the kiddos if they're around that age that they like those things. And then there's also this thing called Mrs. Claus. I think it's called Reading with Mrs. Claus or something with Mrs. Claus. And I'm laughing because I'm remembering that years ago, I think it was 3 years, my husband and I went there to the Gaylord Resort to eat cookies with Mrs. Claus. And when we bought the tickets, they kind of looked at us a little confused, and we're like, oh yeah, we want tickets to that. We want to see what that is. And we realized why people were giving us funny looks, because when we went in, it was just little kids. It was like a whole bunch of little kids and like adults in the very back. And Humberto and I go in, and we're the only like adults without kids. we felt so weird. Like everybody's eyes was on us. Like, where are your kids? And we just like sat like super slowly in the back. Like, nobody look at us.
She doesn't even go here.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone who knows Mean Girls will completely understand that reference.
Oh my
But
goodness.
that's how I felt. Like, we went all the way to the back, sat, like, tried to like disappear, but Mrs. Claus went. She read a book to the kids, and all the kids got so excited, and they sang songs with her. So you can just imagine all these little kids like bouncing around everywhere, like with like beanbags on the floor. Aww. And then Mrs. Claus gives you chocolate milk and cookies. And then it's like a little play. Like, she does a little play. She gives you at the end cookies and milk. And then at the very end, they also give like these little like books to the kids. Aww, so it's a really sweet experience. Hopefully we get to do it this year with Lily, and we won't be like weirdos because we'll have a kid.
Yes, you'll have a kid now. You have an excuse to go.
Exactly. Now we have an excuse to go. So hopefully it won't be like such a funny experience as the first time. And I'll be able to share it with you all through our Instagram too. So I'll make sure to post it if we go this year for that.
Great. And the next one that I told my sister to share with y'all, because she's the one that actually got to go, was the parade. I didn't get to go this year, but hopefully I will next year. But I wanted her to share the experience that she had, because I saw all of the stories and they looked like so much fun.
Yeah, we were able to go. It's called the Dallas Holiday, the Dallas Holiday Parade. And it's just a whole bunch of Christmas theme. You have a lot of high school bands that are going by with music. You have all of the floats with of course like Christmas theme, Frozen. We had some people walking with like Star Wars uniforms. Like, we had Darth Vader. Like, it was just such a fun event, but it's Christmas themed, so you'll see like the little hints of Christmas no matter what characters are there. And of course, like, those inflatable huge like balloons are there too. And it was so funny because there's like 8 people like holding the balloons, and my area that I was in was like kind of rowdy, and so every time they would see one, they would tell them twist, twist, twist. And then like you just see all these like 8 people like running around in a circle to make the balloon twist. And Lily thought that was so funny, and we thought that was so awesome too. Lily's expression was the best. She looked amazed to see people playing instruments. Like, because of the pandemic, we hadn't really taken her out much, so I think that was her very first time ever seeing instruments, and her face looked like shocked, like a little bit scared, but also like in awe. And then when she would see the balloons, she would wave at all of them. And when there was this really big red ornament that like these 8 people were like, you know, walking with, she yelled, "Apple, apple."
Aww, she's so cute.
And we thought that was so funny. We're like, that's not an apple, that's an ornament. And she was so confused. She's like, that's an apple.
And where is this one at?
That one, that's in Dallas, downtown Dallas. So you like where all of the skyscrapers are in Dallas, like they have that parade. It's on Commerce Street in Dallas, and they do it every year, but they do it, I think it's the first week of every December. So like in this case, it was in a Saturday. So I went to that today, you all. I went to that today.
It looked like so much fun.
It was.
And there was just so many. She took my teenage niece as well. And where did y'all eat? I saw there was like really
Oh yeah,
food.
we had, so right across like Commerce Street, we ate at this place called Chop House Burgers. And so it's a very famous place. My husband, he's a foodie, so he was telling me like it's a very famous place. Like, they have one of the best burgers in Dallas, and it was so good. They have different like specialty burgers, and the one that I got was called El Luchador, and it literally had like spiciness in it. It had like a jalapeno stuck in it. It had red onions. It had jack pepper cheese. It was super yummy.
No, that's the one that I saw that I said, where did y'all eat? Because it had this awesome looking jalapeno right on top of the burger, and it was just mouth-watering, y'all.
Yeah, it was. It was so tasty. Oh, and they're also known for their milkshakes. So my teenage niece, she had a cookies and cream milkshake, and she said it was so yummy too. Oh, and they sell beers there too. So it was called Chop House Burgers in Dallas. The first time we've ever been there, and we had a really good time. But it was busy. We did have to wait a while to get in, but once we did, and we got our burgers, so it was like so worth it.
Well, there you go, guys. You go to your parade, and then now y'all know where to eat in downtown Dallas.
And the parade already happened, but remember, like, think about next year. Like, there's so much more things that can be done, but we did wanted to share it because it was just a really fun one that we went to this time.
The one we recently went to is called Grandscape, and it's located in the Colony. Mm-hmm. That one I recommend all year round, not just around Christmas time, because it is just such a great place to take your family. They have a big giant open field, and on certain days they have live music, so they have a stage, and everything's already set up, and the kids loved it. I actually went recently with my sister and her daughter, and then we had again friends visiting from out of town, and they had a young daughter who was about the same age as Lily, and they were running around the field, spinning, playing with my husband went to the store, which I want you to talk about that store.
Okay. Yeah, that store is called Scheels. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but it's spelled SCHEELS, and it's part of that Grandscape area. And inside that store, it's like
it looks like a little mall, but yeah.
It's like a sporting goods store. So it has like all these jackets, all this activewear. And then what's one of the favorite parts for Lily and us is when you walk in, there's like an aquarium. Like it's a huge aquarium that's like an arch. And then there's like these huge fish. And so Lily always loves to run up to it and be like, fish, fish, fish. And of course, it's a store, so it's free. So if you want to just take your kids to look at fish, like that's a great place. Right across is that field that Alice talking about that has like, it's literally just like a football field, like open. But then there's a stage, and that's where they play live music. Every weekend, there's like a different band or a different singer or a different artist that's playing there. And it's such a good vibe place because, you know, as parents, like you are always worried about like, I don't want my kid to act up. Well, guess what? Your kid can just run around crazy and it's fine because it's just an open field.
Especially around Christmas time, they have so many lights everywhere, and they have these beautiful little sculptures, and then there's lights wrapped all around it. It just looks, they even have that arch with the pathway full of lights. So the kids love going in and out of that tunnel because the lights are just blinking in all sorts of colors. But speaking of Scheels, is it
Scheels?
I
think it's pronounced right. Scheels. Yeah.
That store has a Ferris wheel in there. So I know my sister was saying her 1-year-old loves the aquarium, but my kids, they're about 6 and 4. They love that Ferris wheel inside. And so my husband takes my son and I take my daughter, and we just love to do that because it is a little scary, I will say, once you're stuck at the top and the swings a little. But the kids are just having a grand old time. They don't understand.
Oh, my God. Yeah, they're risk takers.
Yes. Right now, currently, they have this giant Ferris wheel outside next to that field that we're talking about. But it's those enclosed ones, so where you actually stand inside of it. And my daughter keeps begging me to take her in there. I haven't personally gotten tickets for it, but I'm more than sure I will.
Yeah, and in that same area, again, Grandscape and the Colony, there's right across the football field in a different direction. There's this place that my husband and I love to eat, and you guys, we have all gone there, Ale. But it's called Perry's Pizzeria and Tapas, and this place is exactly that. It's a pizza place, but it overlooks the field. So what I like to do is when I go, I ask for outside seating because I normally have this ginormous stroller that I'm taking my little girl in, and I use my stroller as a high chair. So I know that I don't want to go inside the restaurant, so I always say, can I have outside seating? And it's perfect for me because she gets antsy. She doesn't want to be in the stroller all the time. So while we're waiting for our food, my husband can just literally walk down to the field, let her run, let her get her wiggles out, and then he comes back when the food's there. So I'm just having the best of times because I'm just there. That's where we like that drink too.
Yes, so we get a frozen frosé, which
Yeah.
is wine, right? A frozen
Yeah.
wine. It's so delicious, y'all. You have to try it. It was so delicious, and there was live music playing in the background. So we were sitting outdoors this last time we went. And again, the kids were all going crazy in the field with our husbands while my sister and I enjoyed our wine.
Our frosé. We're drinking our frosé in that pizzeria, like waiting for them. And then waiting for our pizza. And when our pizza gets here, we just call our husbands and, hey guys, like the pizza's here. Then they come with the kids and we have a grand old time because we're over there drinking while they're over there struggling with the kids.
Speaking of husbands, you got to tell them what he bought the last time
Oh my gosh,
that we went.
that is hilarious. Yes. So I'm sitting because we love to go there. Again, right now it's even prettier because of the lights, but we love to go there all the time. There's all these little shops. We always get like cakes they're all like really good organic places too. But the funny story is that one time we were sitting outside a table and my husband goes, hey, I'll be right back. I'm going to go buy something. And I'm just like, okay. And so he goes and I'm over here with Lily watching the live music. And then he comes back with 2 velas, like 2 candles. And I'm like those big candles, like the velas. And I'm like, what did you get? And he like opens them and unravels them. And one of them is like Jesus's body, but Dak Prescott's face. And then there's another one that's Paul Rudd. Like a vela of Paul Rudd. And I was just like, what is this?
It's just so random. I'm just like,
so random.
Okay, we are not prendiendo la vela right now. I was just so confused. But anyway, it was just the most random thing.
It was so random. But
I don't even know where he bought that. Like, what store would have that?
I don't remember what the store was called, but it's literally like right across the field. I mean, this field is ginormous. So there's all these little shops in there. But it's like a novelty store where you just buy funny things. And so that's why he found that like funny candle and he lights them up for the Cowboys to play. And don't tell him I told you, but it seems like every time he lights it they win. Like, okay. Well, like I know that's superstitious.
He needs to be prendiendo la vela every time they play.
That's what he says, because like we've been like visiting his parents or we're like traveling and he doesn't turn it on and he's like, and then they lose and he's like, it's because I didn't turn on the vela.
Oh my, superstitious. Okay,
it's so funny.
So that is that sometimes, and I just want to add, because I did mention how it's awesome to go to that area all year round, but it's especially more exciting around Christmas time. Mm-hmm. They also have the Jurassic World there right at this moment, and it's been there for a while now. We've taken our kids and it's been really, really fun.
Yeah, it has been. The other thing that I will say that little area has, and I have never been because Lily's too small, but for those of you that may have older kids, like bigger kids, they have like a go-karts area where you can like go and like take a go-kart around, but it's like this huge building. But I've never been in there, but I hear from like parents that have like older kids that it's so much fun for those older like teenagers and like 10-year-olds that there's so much to do. It's like a gaming room in there.
I agree. But I just wanted to add really quick about Jurassic World. It was just the music for us and all the awesome machinery that they had in there. My kid is 4 and he's obsessed with dinosaurs. So he had a grand old time. We even did the picture at the end, and that one looks so realistic as well. So highly recommend.
Yeah, all of their dinosaurs look really, really amazing. Like they look awesome. Like if you were in a movie for Jurassic Park, like that's exactly how they look like the eyes, how they're shifty and they move, and then there's a long neck. And then my favorite part, because I'm like a huge nerd, is this area where it's like a laboratory and they're like, there's these eggs in incubators, and then you can like scan them with your phone and like find information about I'm such a nerd. Like I can't wait for Lily to get older so like she can see all of this stuff. But it's It's an awesome place to be. I don't know how long that's going to be there, though. I know that Jurassic Park, or I think it's called Jurassic World, is temporary, but they'll like replace it with something else. So I don't know how long it's going to be there, but be there. But go if you have a chance. I will say that the lines inside were a little bit longer than I thought. So what we did is we took an iPad with downloaded episodes for Lily, because she gets, kids, like, they get antsy. So we just did that so that way she could, in between the lines, she wasn't like having a tantrum or like getting really bored.
And also make sure that when you do purchase your tickets, that you do the like you get there on time, depending on the time that you schedule it. So I really like how they stagger the times that way, because when we went, there was not a line, because we went 15 minutes before our showing. So definitely book a time that you know that you'll get to be there at least 15 minutes early to avoid the long lines.
Yep, definitely. And the only other thing that I will add is, besides all of the stuff we mentioned, and again, wanting to remind you of the name, it's called Grandscape. And aside from everything we mentioned, it has a lot of little shops too. Like just different restaurants, coffee shops. Like I know I said this one already, but like a cake one that we always love to go to, this cake one, because it has like some very delicious cakes. And there's wine, like they have like a wine bar like right on the side of what is that place, the fields, like right across the field in the live music. Like there's a wine place, and they also sometimes, like before the live music happens, they have their own like person that's singing, and like they always have like live music even within the bars too. So it's just a really fun place to go, honestly. Like I said, in general, but specifically right now with all of the Christmas lights, it's just such a good environment.
Yes, and speaking of wine, you have to tell them about that grapevine place that we took. One of my sisters came to visit from out of town, and Laura and I took her there, and we loved it. We were wearing like our fancy little wine hats with our it was during the summer, so we were wearing our little summer dresses, and just the vibe around there, because there's so many little shops, and they're all like mom and pop shops, right?
Yeah, that's true. They have so many, and that's a really great point, because like our theme is Christmas, and so I wanted to say that Grapevine historical area, it's considered the Christmas capital of Texas. Wow. Like it has the most activities, like the most little shops that sell like Christmas stuff. It is literally called that, the Christmas capital of Texas. But that's where Ali's talking about the wine. Like they have all of these little wineries, like little shops, like shop by shop. You can go wine hopping.
Wine hopping.
Just
quick disclaimer, all the fun facts y'all learn from my sister Laura, I'm learning too for the first time. Just FYI. So right now I'm like, wow, I didn't know that fun fact, but nice to know now.
Now you know.
Thanks
it's the Christmas capital of Texas, and they have so much activities. Literally just Google Grapevine Christmas capital of Texas, and you'll find all of their activities. They have weekend things that they do. They have a little plaza that they always like deck it out and decorate it so nicely. Humpert and I, my husband and I, Humberto and I, have actually gone to a brunch, and we've gotten like mimosas, and it's been like the funnest thing, because it's like outside. Well, there's inside and outside, and we've done both. And then you have like your board full of like cheeses and like meats. It's just so much fun. That place is also super fun, especially like I don't want to say just like a date night, because it's also really good with kids. But I like it personally, for me, like more date night.
Oh my! Speaking of date night, we have to share the downtown Denton. OMG, that we did a double date. So it was my sister, her husband, and then it was my husband's birthday. So it was me and my husband, and we all went down to downtown Denton just because we had gotten so many recommendations from local people. Hey, you guys got to check that place out. They have a ton of little bars. You get to go. And so my sister and I, we went, and we got a little carried away because there was DJs like outside, just in the plain field. And I know during Christmas time they have the the light show where they turn on this giant Christmas tree that they have there, and so it's like an annual tradition. It's been going on since like the 1980s, and every year they turn it on, live music, food. So check that place out.
Yeah, downtown Denton. So that, just remember, that's what that's another place that is called that. That place, I will say, I also like better without kids. Like, just if you can get a sitter for the night, do a double date, just a date, or even go out with your girlfriends. Like, imagine just us two.
Yeah, that would be so much fun. Well, they have a lot of vintage shops. So if you love to shop like for vintage shirts and t-shirts, they have a lot of vintage shops there. One of the ones that we went to was called the Vintage Lizard, and so many nice band t-shirts that you know, they're not out there anymore. So it's like I think my husband got an Elton John shirt, and I think I got a Queen shirt that day.
Yeah, I got a Red Hot Chili Pepper shirt, and my husband did too. And my husband got like this football player's jersey. So yeah, they do have a lot of like cool little places to look, and like hidden treasures that you can find if you like to do that, and which we did. We started off doing that, and then we moved up to like the bar scene, like the bar area.
That's right. And there was a karaoke night on one of those bars, and oh my gosh, we have to tell them about that.
That was so much fun, you all. Like, so much fun. It was karaoke. There was, a list with a board, like, of people that wanted to sing. If one of you have gotten into, have ever done karaoke, you know what I mean? Like, you write your name down, and then you put, like, the song that you want to sing.
And we chose Selena, Bidi Bidi Bam Bam, because we said, okay, who is not going to know that song? That song is iconic. So
that's
we
what
signed
we
up
thought.
for that one.
At the same time, we were nervous, so we were like, okay, but not sure if like they will know it, but let's do it because we know it, and we really wanted to add some like Latin vibe to the bar.
Oh yes, I told my sister, read the crowd. I'm like, I don't see a lot of Latinos, but I mean that song's very iconic, and I feel like anyone should know that song. Well, they did once we started playing it.
But let me tell them, like, first of all, like, I'm gonna give us kudos because we did it, and a lot of people like are afraid of singing. Oh, not even singing, talking, let alone singing. And I'm not gonna lie, I was very like, I'm not sure if I want to do it, but Alice saying she wants to do it, I can't let her do it alone.
Oh, I remember what she said. At the end she said, okay, I'll be your chorus.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is what I said.
Yeah, no way, Jose. All I did was I forgot the lyrics because I got so excited.
No, I don't know if that's true, but I'll tell you when she started singing. Okay, not even singing. Before, like, when this music just started going, I just saw her, like, dancing. And I was like, okay, like, the songs are... the Laura Leon turn and stuff. And I'm like, are you gonna, like, you're not even looking at the words. Like, girl, like, turn around. Like, no, this girl, like, literally, I just saw her, like, doing the Laura Leon turn. I was like, oh, my goodness, I'm gonna have to step in. And I did.
And I just see my sister's vein, like, pop out of her neck. And then I was like, oh, shoot, the song started. It was, like, a bit really fast reaction. And I look at the TV, at the television, the line was already going. And I'm like, holy crap, but Laura's taking over. So
I took over, guys. I became the lead singer, and Ale was the backup.
She sure did. But let me tell y'all when she started singing what happened. So when I was doing my Laura Leon turn, I see so many cameras, like everybody started getting their cell phones out to record.
Like, oh, these like Latin girls are about to like turn up this place. So I think, I don't know, they were like trying to record us.
Yes, or maybe I told my sister, maybe they thought we were like upcoming artists or something.
Who knows? But the point is, there was a lot of cameras pointing at us when we started singing.
Yes, and then once I see my sister's vein popping out of her neck, I just see the camera slowly go down, and then we couldn't stop laughing.
Guys, I was literally being like a Demi Lovato. Like, let me take that back. Not vocal, like not like good singing wise. I mean, like I was being a Demi Lovato and like the way I was like level of voice, but obviously not tone. Not tone.
Not the vocals.
Not the vocals. So it was so funny because I had noticed that too. We were like singing and dancing. Everybody was like, ooh, they're going to be so good. And then I see all these phones like going down.
Yes, but I will say that when we finished, even there was a lady who came up to us and she's like, I'm so glad y'all did that. I love all of her music.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of kudos for the choice of the
Yes,
songs.
we did.
Not so much the singing.
Yeah, but the lady was like, she came in and she's like, oh, I was like about to go out of the bar, and then I just like she went like like
she
a
paused and came back.
yeah, like a stop. And then she like backed it up and was like, is that Selena? She said, and then she was like, oh, that's Selena. And she like came back and she was there dancing with us.
Yeah, she was so fun.
Yeah, she was so fun. She was like rooting us on. And so she made us like, made me for sure less nervous. Although I will say the part where my vein popped out, because I do think my husband talked about this too afterwards. He said it was a part where Selena goes, something de mi corazón quiere cantar así. Oh. And then the part where she has like that strong vocal, like, like, but obviously I'm like not doing it right. Yes. But that's the part where my vein
was popping out.
Because I was like, I gotta bring it.
No, and I was so embarrassed because I was too focused on the dancing that I forgot about singing. The lyrics were just going off. And I said, oh my gosh, gotta catch up. But at that time, it was too late. Laura had already taken over.
I had already paused and my vein was popping out. And I was like singing at the top of my lungs. And I felt like it was so funny because at the moment, like I just remember thinking like everybody is waiting for this part. Like we gotta show them how it's done. Oh my. So that's what I was thinking. But then like my husband recorded us and I was like.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. That if you all want to see that recording.
Oh, no.
Send in.
That is not what I was going to say. That is not what I was going to say.
Because the next day, my sister's like, and you know, Humberto recorded us, and the next day he kept playing it, and I just was telling him, just stop, delete that off your phone.
Delete it.
No, don't tell him to delete it. Let me look at it.
Oh my goodness, guys! Like in my head, in my eyes, it looked so different than the recording, and the voice was so different than what I thought. I thought I was sounding amazing because I'm telling you, like people were clapping for us, and like the whole bar was into it in my eyes.
Yes, no, it was true. My husband said the same thing. He's like, everybody was clapping and like cheering for you guys. But I did notice that when she hit that high note, I saw the phones going down.
My voice, you guys hear my voice like weekly. It's not the like most beautiful artistic voice. It is not like Demi Lovato, like kind of voice. I don't have those vocals.
Okay, at the end of the day, it was so much fun. And we highly recommend, especially a girls' night or even just like a double date night or something.
A day for yourself. Like if you just really want to just, wind down and like enjoy yourself, like that's a wonderful place. And that's the place that we also went to, that bar where they had like that very mellow like singer.
Oh,
I don't remember that place.
We will link it on the notes, but that place had all the furniture was original, like 70s, 80s style.
No, that's where
furniture.
We ate. But no, I'm talking about the place where we ended up writing our names on the wall.
Oh, that one. Oh, it was like a very hipster vibe. So
yeah,
there was a
by the way, it was okay for us to write our name on the wall. We didn't just write our name on the wall. Yes, we graffitied something.
No, they had a giant wall where you could write your name, or my husband and her husband, of course, being the extras that they are, the best friends
forever. Literally, this is how much of a best friends they are. I hope they don't kill us for saying this, but I walk out of the restroom and I literally see her husband on my husband's shoulders,
and he's writing. But it was a sweet moment because he wrote our kids'
Not
names.
For me. That's the first thing I saw when I opened the door.
I know. She was so freaked out. Like, what is going on here? Like, I just come out and like one is on top of the other's shoulder and the other one's writing on the wall. He wrote our kids' names. So Lily, Cammie, and Zach. Zachary. So it was so cute.
Yeah, it was cute. Once I found out what they were writing.
So maybe next time we go again, we might see those names up there.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty high up there. So
no one can get there unless they do what they did. So for sure they'll be up there.
And they had a local singer. She was singing like an angel. I just loved listening to her sing. And I wish I would have gotten the name of that band. But they sounded so chill, so mellow, and like angelic. If you just wanna,
if you want to relax, that was my type of vibe. I was like totally vibing with the person that was singing.
Yeah, and then we also played Jenga, like the giant Jenga there while she was singing. It was It was just a
It was
chill vibe.
so
It was not
awesome.
packed or crowded, just the perfect amount of people. So again, we'll link the name of that place on the notes. So if anybody wants to check it out.
But check it out on our Instagram, because I think it's a better place for them to be able to see everything all together.
Okay. We can do that. So at Driven Latinas, don't forget.
Don't forget, we can do that, and we can see this time. We'll really have to like make sure that we go in and add it in there. But that is a really fun place. So I think we got sidetracked, but we were talking about Christmas.
Yes. Oh no. Well, I did mention that they do a yearly tradition since the 1980s, which is the light up tree. So they light up this giant tree there, and every weekend they have live music outside. They have several different bars, and again, they're all mom and pop bars. So they're not franchises or anything like that. So it's really unique and nice, and highly recommend. But I think without kids at night, but during the day you can take your kids.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's a lot of little shops, and they have like this like anime shop too, if anybody's into anime. Like I know we walked in there, we saw so many like cool little things, and they just have all kinds of shops, like different unique shops, that it's not like your normal like stores or chain stores that you see like everywhere. They're different, like they're specifically from that little town. So
yes,
great place to check out.
Absolutely. The last place we'll leave you all with is the Dallas Zoo. I personally haven't been there, but I hear around Christmas time it's gorgeous. I just hear from my other mom friends.
Yeah.
They have tons of lights for the kids, activities for them to do. So I have gone to the Dallas Zoo. I just haven't gone during Christmas time. So the Dallas Zoo, they have lots of different activities for the kids, such as like petting the
animals, like
the stingrays.
Oh,
They have like a little pond, and it's all the kids go and pet them. My kids love doing that, and I try to leave that one till the very end just because of the smell. And so and because they sometimes get their shirt wet because they're feeding them, and then they splash. So I try to leave that activity all the way towards the end. But
I've seen
their favorite one is feeding the giraffes. And again, you can do all these activities during Christmas time too. But I'm more than sure that they have gorgeous lights, because I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, there's beautiful pictures of it out there too.
Yes.
Yeah, I will say the other one that I haven't been, but I have seen one of my really best friends go to, because she's a huge like Christmas person. Like she loves everything about Christmas. And there's this other place for lights. It's in Arlington, Texas, and I've seen her like just post like amazing, beautiful pictures. It's called Enchant Christmas, and it's in Arlington. So it's like the lights, and from her pictures and other pictures from the website, I see that it has like these dangling lights, and it has like a unicorn or a horse like by the water. Like she took some really beautiful pictures. So yeah, thank you, Leslie, for that, because I'm gonna add that in here since I saw she recently went. So I
have to definitely check that place out then. I haven't been. And one last thing that I want to add to the Dallas Zoo that my family really enjoyed was it was like a subway ride, and you get to see a lot more animals because it gives you a ride around the zoo. And we saw waterfalls. It was just, I told my husband, I'm like, why didn't we just do this before? Because we've been there several times, and I said, this is phenomenal. Like we saw like a hippo and different, because I mean it goes all the way around, and the kids loved that. They were so excited because you're kind of moving fast, but at the same time you're seeing all these different sceneries and habitats where the animals are. Loved it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I have been to the Dallas Zoo, but I've never been on the train, so that's something that I for sure need to check out. And I think we both need to check out the zoo right now, because we get so much like feedback about how beautiful it looks with the lights and stuff. So we will do it.
We'll make it happen. Yes. And we'll post it on our Instagram page so y'all can see it at Driven Latinas.
Yeah, and we'll post it in our stories too. We post a lot in our stories too that we don't post in our pictures, but we'll do both. That way you can see the day of, and then just like the really highlights of the trip when we go, because we need to do it. I feel like we've been here, we keep hearing really good things about it, so we need to make that happen.
For sure. Well, I think that wraps up our episode about the different attractions that you can check out during the Christmas holidays. We hope you and your family get use these tips and tricks, and we hope you all enjoy yourself and have happy holidays.
That's right. And don't forget, in our Instagram at Driven Latinas, we'll make sure to post. And as always, we want to hear and keep hearing from you all, your feedback, what you want to hear about. So we really want to engage you through there. So make sure you give us a follow and make sure you respond. We want to hear from everyone.
Yes, respond to our polls. We always post different ones, and we want to hear what next topic y'all want us to cover. So remember, somos hermanas,
and together we are Driven Latinas.